Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Making another quick video here. It's really going to be quick, I hope. It will be. I'm going to talk a little bit about players who are overachieving and underachieving. We'll tie it into the cards because there's obviously a correlation between prices of cards going up and prices of cards going down. That is directly correlated with how many points they put up. So when a player is putting up a lot of points or not putting up many points, I like to have a quick poke around and just see if I can figure out why that's happening, what's going on. So that's what we're going to do today, is take a look at that. I'll show you a really quick way to do it that helps me a lot. I'm not going to get super deep into it. I know that some people aren't into advanced stats, and if you're not, you're not. But you know, maybe you'll get something out of this, and maybe you'll just understand where I'm coming from or where other people are coming from. So yeah, let's get to work. Let's get to work. I think I'm going to use that all the time. No one uses that, so I think I'm going to say that in every video now. Yeah, shout out to Brad, comeback card investor. You know, he's a great guy, great content over there. If you didn't get that joke, then go check out his channel. But yeah, shout out. First player we're going to take a look at, who everyone knows is off to a really hot start, got traded over to Montreal, and you know, has been lighting it up there, playing really well, is Tyler Toffoli. Okay, and I'm using market movers. I'm not going to show this for every card, but I did want to show this feature. So this is a chart any card. So Tyler Toffoli currently isn't in their database, but what you can do is you put the name in, you put the set and year in, put the variation, the Young Guns, and then it will build the chart for you. So here's what his graph looks like. He was up around, you know, in here, January or February the 5th. This is where he obviously really took off. I would imagine this is where the season started, January the 19th. So we started the hockey season on the 13th back here. So anyways, he was around somewhere around 15 bucks, and now you see he's trading a lot higher. But this is a really cool feature. You can also go down here, and I've removed a couple of cards. So this is his canvas, so you can add it back in or subtract it. If this was a card that was slabbed, I could remove it, but I can add it back in. But you see Tyler Toffoli's seen a nice increase. Some people on the Discord I'm in were speculating, talking about Tyler Toffoli and this opportunity happening, and it came to fruition. So good for them, made some good sales. But let's take a look at why Tyler Toffoli's doing that, or things that I look at. Site that I use, Natural Stat Trick. Pretty good site, you know, it puts it all in one place for me. I don't have to go and jump all over the place. And the first thing that I always come and look at, especially when you're talking about a guy, so from a situation perspective, this is all times that he's on the ice. Okay, you can look at 5 versus 5, you can look at the power play, the penalty kill, whatever. I look at all strengths when I'm looking at these things. So that's what this is all strengths. And the first thing that obviously pops out is he has a shooting percentage of 18.87%. Not sustainable. You look at the rest of his career, he had 15.79, but that's in Vancouver. That was at the end of last year, so there's a small sample there, only 10 games played. So I would sort of ignore that and take a look at his body of work. 10%, 6%, 9.5%, 10%, 14%, and he's up at almost 19%. Okay, so we can expect that to come back to earth. It's a small sample, only 10 games, and that's what's going on here. He's not going to keep shooting at 18.87%. What you can do to combat that is you can take more shots. He can shoot a lower percentage and take more shots and keep up at the rate that he's going at, which is, you know, 2 goals every 3 games, but that's just not very likely. Okay, so the shooting percentage is the first thing that I come and look at. Next thing I want to look at is the PDO, see if they're getting lucky or unlucky, as they call the PDO. And for those of you that don't know what PDO is simply the on-ice shooting percentage. So that's everybody on the ice, you know, what the shooting percentage, the percentage that they score at. So in his case, it's 14.19%, plus the on-ice save percentage. So how Carey Price is playing, or whoever's in goal when he's on the ice, and they're at about a 903 save percentage. So not very good, actually. But when you're looking at PDO, typically, if you want to know what a baseline is going to be around 1. If you're below 1, you're slightly below average. If you're above 1, you're a little bit above average. I would say the average falls more between 1.02 and 1. Once you start getting above 1.03 and 1.04, you don't see it too often. He's 1.3, 1.2. He had 1.05 there, but typically 1. So these years, you know, he was sort of underachieving here with 18, 19, and 19, 20, getting a bit unlucky. And look at the goalie save percentage. They're doing two things here. Their shooting percentage is really low, and the goalie isn't stopping any pucks. So, you know, not really a good situation. The next thing that I look for is the Corsi 4. So Tyler Toffoli is actually a very good Corsi player at 60.85%. And again, Corsi 4 percentage, for people who don't know, is the percentage of shots that you get versus the shots that are against you. So 286, there have been 286 shots directed at the net. Some have been blocked, some have been wide, some have hit the net, some have been goals, versus 184 shots against the Montreal Canadiens. Some have been wide, some have been goals, some have missed the net. But whenever he's on the ice, his Corsi percentage is 61. These are very good Corsi numbers from an advanced stats perspective. Like, you don't see this very often. I mean, 54 is a fairly reasonable Corsi player. You have a lot of guys who are good hockey players and below on the Corsi 4 percentage. They just give up shots, but when they get shots, they score. So, you know, this all boils down to me for the shooting percentage of Tyler Toffoli, 19%. That's going to come back down to earth. So I just don't think that he's going to keep the pace that he's at with 15 points in 15 games. I would expect that to slip, and he'll come back down to where his numbers really should be. Next player we'll take a look at is Nikolaj Ehlers. I'm here in Winnipeg, and you know, Ehlers is, first of all, playing really well. I watch him a lot more than Tyler Toffoli. I watch pretty much every Jets game, or most of them if they don't overlap with Colorado games. Anyways, he's got 10 goals in 16 games. So once again, first place we're gonna go is take a look at the shooting percentage. So he's shooting at 17.25% this year. Take a look at his past. So 12%, 13%, 12%. So 17% also not sustainable, even though it seems like it's like 17 is pretty close to 12. Well, no, it's about 40% more than 12. So that's extremely high, and that's just not going to be sustained for Nikolaj Ehlers, and that's just a number that Nikolaj Ehlers isn't going to be able to sustain. We'll take a look at, next thing I will go and look at is, of course, PDO, and look at this. What do you know? He's getting lucky, 1.085, very high. We'll look at his past PDO, all at 1.00, 1.00, 1.02, 1.00, 1.01, 1.08 on ice shooting percentage. So when he's on the ice, all of the players combined are shooting at 13.58%. Just not sustainable. On ice save percentage, Hellebuyck or whoever's in net playing very well at almost 950 save percentage. So getting it up both sides, good for Helly. Helly's played good. That North Division still just going bonkers with goals too. So that's another reason. I mean, we know that coming in. There's lots of stats that you can look at, but we know the pace that North Division scoring at is just insane. Corsi 4 percentage 54, so nothing too wild going on there. But it boils back down to just the shooting percentage, which is too high, and the PDO, which shows that 1.08 is just not sustainable over the long term. And we'll see some regression back to the mean, back down to 1, meaning that they're going to either shoot at they're going to probably do both. They're going to shoot at a lower percentage, and Hellebuck's not going to sustain a 950 save percentage when he's on the ice in all situations. So we're going to look at the other side now. We're going to look at players who are underachieving. So Jack Eichel is off to a little bit of a rough start. I mean, not too bad, but we'll take a look at market movers here. So we've seen a slight downtrend in his PSA 10. As I said in my last video, like he hasn't been playing, and he also hasn't put up the points, but you know, it's a chicken or egg situation. He's not playing very much, so how do you expect him to get in a groove and put up points? But maybe we can figure out why. So we're going to take a look at Jack Eichel. Shooting percentage, what do you know? He's shooting at 4.55%. He is a 10% to 11%, which most players are in that range between 10 to 12%. You have some outliers. Patrick Laine, I was surprised to see he's shooting at like a 15% year over year, which is super insane to me. I'm not sure what Ovi's is, but Jack Eichel is not a 4.55% shooter. Okay, he has 2 goals. So if he would be shooting at 10%, then you're going to add another 2 goals. So he would have 4 goals in 13 games, which is, you know, closer to like a 30 goal pace. And I would expect that he would get closer to the 11 or 12%. Even the year back here, he had almost 30 goals. He was shooting 9 in 18-19. But this is what's going on with Jack Eichel. Why isn't he scoring? He's getting unlucky. Take a look at PDO next. And what do you know? He's unlucky. Okay. On ice save percentage is .844. So there's lots of conclusions you can make here. You know, some people talk about advanced stats and say, oh, it's phooey, it's whatever. They don't have just any, they don't have an open mind when it comes to them. I think that they tell a real story. So, I mean, when you're looking at this and your star player has a goalie with an .844 save percentage when he's on the ice, something's not going right there. There's no way a league leader, a team at the top, is going to have an .844 save percentage when your best player is on the ice. And then the on-ice shooting percentage is only 8.67. So no one's scoring when Eichel's on the ice. And it's certainly not his fault because he's not scoring either. I guess that's his fault. He can score more. But you know, you start to see the picture there, and his Corsi actually really high, 65.25. So they've created 306 shots and they've only allowed 163. So like a super high Corsi, it tells me that they're in the other end a lot. But as soon as the puck comes back into their own end, it's going in the net. And here's the reason I did want to mention this, and I'm glad that I remembered this, because I just wanted to go over Corsi 4. So a lot of people who don't know, you know, don't believe in Corsi 4 percentage. I want to explain why I think that it's important. So first of all, I'm just going to talk for a second about what it is. I explained to you that this 306 is the total shots taken, whether they're blocked, wide, or go in the net, or the goalie makes a save. The reason that that's so important is because the most important thing that you can do in a hockey game is score goals. Okay, you can't do that every shot. So what's the next most important thing you can do? Next most important thing you can do is take a shot on net from the high danger area. If you can't take a shot from the high danger area, it's good to get a shot from somewhere else. If you can't get a shot from there, it's good to be passing in your own end into preferably the high danger area. Everything is leading towards goals, and you want to be doing the other things that don't allow goals. The easiest way to not allow a goal is by scoring a goal, because when you're scoring a goal, they can't be scoring a goal, right? So that's why I see this being so important. When your Corsi is so high, it just means that you are getting shots to the net and you're playing in the other end, which means that you shouldn't be allowing goals. So they're doing everything possible here. They've only allowed a Corsi 4, or a Corsi against rather, of 163 shot attempts. Yet, whoever, I'm not even sure who is in goal for Buffalo right now, but he is not good, and he's not playing good because he can't stop a puck when it comes to that end of the ice, and Jack Eichel's on the ice. But I just wanted to touch on that with the Corsi 4. So, you know, maybe you can think about that a little bit. Mika Zibanejad's card, we'll move to him next. He's come down a little bit. He's about a $25 to $30 card. And look at him with his 3 points in 15 games played last year. I think in his first 15 games, he probably had about 30 points. I think last year was a year he was absolutely on fire, and he jumped off to a huge start, and then he simmered down. And these, you think about that, if he did, the opposite would be happening. You see, he even shot a high percentage last year. So that's probably telling me that I am right. It was last year that he jumped off to that hot start, because even if the shooting percentage comes down, he's still going to score goals, and he still did score goals, and therefore he had a way above average shooting percentage for that year versus the others. Like, that's massive. 19.71 in even though it's only 57, that's a good enough sample to say, like, holy shit, that's really good. But this year, the exact opposite, 2.27%. He's got 1 goal. They can't buy him. I've watched the Rangers again tonight, and they're a little bit difficult to watch. Georgiev played tonight, but Shesterkin looked really good the other night, and their goaltending looks okay, but let's see if the numbers show that. So back to PDO, 964, so what do you know, he's getting unlucky. And I should maybe stop saying unlucky because that might irritate people, and I do apologize for that. But 964, he's running below expectation. On-ice save percentage is 905, so that's certainly below average. And then the on-ice shooting percentage, 5.88%, which is certainly below average when we take a look at his body of work here. Like this 8.9 is very low here, and once we've gotten into some of his better years. But let's go over to Corsi 4, and again, pretty good Corsi stats here, 56%. That's still a really good Corsi player. They've generated 313 shots against, and how many goals for? And in those 313, you know, only 10 goals. Like that's just that's not good. But you know, they've sort of limited the amount of shots against. And, you know, I think that sort of explains what's going on with Mika. We're just not going to see him keep shooting at 2.27%. That's going to come up. So is, you know, Artemis, and so is everyone else. And then you're going to see the shooting percentage come up. The on-ice shooting percentage will come up. And if they can get the on-ice save percentage up a little bit, he's going to get right back to that 1.0. You see these? He's right around 1.0, 1.03, so that's a good year, slightly above expectation. I hope I didn't go too quick, and I hope that you guys got something out of this, but to me, it really does give me a snapshot of what's going on the ice without having to watch every single game and know these stats do tell a story. Hopefully, if you want to see what's going on with a player, you can have a quick look. And it matters in cards because it can be a determining factor, you know, whether I think that player's play is sustainable or not sustainable, or what's going on. So that may lead me to invest or not invest in a card. But thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Leper Flips on Instagram, LAPP3R30_flips. Hit the like button, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Do you like these videos? Do you hate them? Am I an idiot? I don't know. Let me know. But I'll probably do more just for fun. And if you don't like this series or whatever it is, don't watch it. But I do appreciate you watching this, and I appreciate everyone watching my videos. It's been nothing but love. And I hope you guys stay safe.